All right, so you're looking for a fantasy RPG with tactical combat, deep story, and this is the part that's a little hard to find when it comes to the genre. A game that is made for the busy gamer who doesn't have 5+ hours a day to invest into it. But I have found the remedy, people. Look no further than Vanillaware's latest title, Unicorn Overlord. Now, I know it has a weird name. I know that may throw you off, but just trust me. Trust me. So Unicorn Overlord has been out for a little over a month now. And there has yet to be a moment where I felt like my time was wasted. First off, once again, it's a tactical role-playing game. Dope enough it was published by Sega and Atlas, depending on which region you bought it in. But the one reason I had been following this game, before even getting into this and why this is something that's important to me, is it's basically like a modern take on Ogre Battle 64. Like, that just, if you loved Ogre Battle 64 or the Ogre Battle franchise, Tactics Ogre, more so Ogre Battle, not so much Tactics Ogre, but if you really love that, you'll love this. So that's just a quick out the way. But I've got about 30+ hours in the game. And one thing that really stood out of all the things that I've been enjoying about this game, the thing that really shines is the fact that it respects the fact that you're busy, and it offers you plenty of opportunities to continue to progress, whether it's through leveling, whether it's, the story, everything about the game is in a weird way streamlined while not holding your hand. Like, it doesn't feel extremely linear. It doesn't feel hand-holdy, but it does feel like they understand that their player base is most likely going to be pretty busy, but still wants to enjoy a deep RPG experience. So, let's talk about some of the things that make it, busy RPG fan friendly. So first off is the rewards for restoring towns. Now, there's a mechanic in the game where you have to liberate towns. Well, you don't have to. There's a few you have to, but all of them not necessarily. But when you liberate a town, you fight the enemy there, you take the base, you win the battle, and you get these rewards. So then the town is now kind of in shambles, and you have to provide resources in order to rebuild the town. Now, the cool thing is the resources are usually local, so you can just walk around within that region in the open map area of the game, and you can just collect it. It'll be a node lit up in the ground, or it'll be like a glowing node. For me, it's like a blue node, and you can just walk around and see it, and they refresh over time. You go and pick them up, and then you turn them in, and then that activate. You'll get rewarded with money. Sometimes items, but then once you turn in enough of the resources that the town needs in order to grow, you'll now restore the town, and then fireworks will go off, and it'll be everybody's all happy, and somebody from town will say thank you, and then all of a sudden a new option in the town will show up, because usually there's a store, there's an armory, where you can buy weapons and buy potions and whatnot. But then there's this little thing that's often grayed out, and it says, if I'm not mistaken, it says station a guard here. Now, at first I was a little hesitant, and I didn't station a guard at first because I was worried that once I stationed one of my soldiers there, I wouldn't be able to use them in future fights. But that's not the case. You can station your guard anywhere on the map and still have access to them at any time during fights or during big battles. Or any battle, actually, not just big battles, any battle. Well, that is kind of cool, and I was like, oh, that's nice. So I didn't think much of it, and I was like, oh, station a guard. Maybe there's going to be like a future big battle mechanic. I don't know. I haven't made it that far yet, but I was just like, cool, whatever. But then I noticed I would, after completing missions and whatnot, automatically resources would be collected over time, and I wouldn't have to go back to that area to farm for those resources, because that guard in that area, that's I was like, oh, so that makes life a lot easier, because then if I need to restore another town, I don't need to go circle the map and go all over the game developer's creation just to find the special logs in order to provide this town to restore it. So now anytime I restore a town, I make sure to place a guard and I go out of my way. So now I'm just constantly getting rewards and resources just all the time. Every time I finish a major mission, every time I go into auxiliary battles, which is something I'm going to talk about in a second, but I'm just constantly collecting resources. And that is a dope system, because now just by progressing in the game overall, you're constantly getting different items you need to restore more towns, which is just makes life easier. So you're not constantly going around walking back and backtracking through areas you've been in over and over just to collect resources that you may or may not need in the future, when the game kind of sets it up to where it collects it on its own. So that's the first thing, the rewards for restoring towns. The second thing, which is really big, is fast travel. Now, I didn't think it would be that much of a difference, because at first the map didn't feel too big, but then I got into the third area. So far I believe it's called Elfheim. It's the Elf Kingdom. So I'm in the Elf Kingdom right now, which is the third major area I've unlocked. And it makes it so much easier to just be able to open up the map and click the icon I want to go to, whether it's a specific town to buy an item, whether it's to go turn in a quest, whether it's to go to a specific spot for relationship building, because yes, there is relationship building in the game. There's relationship mechanics, and you get to go to restaurants and whatnot and have little special moments depending on your relationship level, but that's beside the point. But the fast travel definitely respects you, and it's a wonderful thing that I didn't think would be that important. You know, it's like, oh, fast travel's in a lot of games, but no, just being able to be like, oh, hey, I'm level 20 now, and there's a mission that was back in the first area of the game that I could not access, or I didn't feel strong enough to beat, but now that I'm level 20, I can go back and do that instead of going through the different areas and traveling the map, which looks great. Like, it's fun to walk around, but once again, we're busy gamers. We're trying to get stuff done while still enjoying the deep RPG experience. So being able to jump to that very specific mission, and it'll be marked on the map with the banners. You go, you click on that, you highlight over the area, and you click on it, and you immediately, especially if you the newer consoles, you jump right in and you're there. And it's like, thank you for not making me go across the map and then mess around and go the wrong way, and then this area is not unlocked, or maybe I didn't build that bridge, because yes, you do have to repair certain bridges. Maybe I didn't repair that bridge, so now I got to go back around and go the long way, or you went the wrong way and that's a mountain pass that you can't get through. And so it's like, just being able to fast travel and jump around makes life so much simple. Just that little thing. But yes, so moving on, auxiliary battles. Now, it took me a second to kind of realize what was going on with the auxiliary battle, but basically there are these areas, and they're marked by yellow. There are these areas in the game where it's this little like teleport that takes you to a mock battle that doesn't really have the consequences other than whatever items you use in there, you use them. So it does have consequences. Let's backtrack. So yeah, it has consequences. When you go into these battles, whatever items you use, they are used in the real world. So if you've been saving up your potions, if you've been saving up your respawn or your revive orbs, and you use them in this mock battle, they're gone. But the beauty of the mock battle, or I call them mock battles, but the auxiliary battles, is they are a system that is set up to where you can level your army. So let's say you've gotten, you've kind of struggled and your strategy skills are top tier, and you've just gotten some lucky fights, right? Let's just say somehow, some way, your army's level 18, but you just unlock the level 25 area, which the areas are kind of level. They're not level capped, but they're definitely sectioned off by levels. So you'll get to one region in that area, I have nothing but level 25 enemies and so on and so forth. But for the most part, I've ran into at least, I believe I've ran into 3. I didn't go and look and see how many there are, but the final battle area I seen was like level 40. And so far, my army is an average of like level 23. So I don't know how many more level up auxiliary battle areas there's going to be. But auxiliary battles set you up to where it, for the most part, you can easily level your army. Now, oftentimes, and I've came across 3 of them. There is things like the ballistaes is it? I think it's ballistaes. I'm probably butchering it. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But there's catapults and different armory and weaponry, or heavy weapons, in order for your army to go into to attack on, you know, the onslaught of enemies. So, for example, I said ballistade. It's not ballistade. Is it a ballistade? Whatever. Is it ballistade? It's gonna bother me now. But beside the point. So, wow, I'm really gonna be stuck on that. But yeah, so you actually get to, it like does heavy damage on the oncoming enemies once they enter the range of the weapon, and you get to do massive damage. And the cool thing is, when you kill these soldiers, so like let's say you put in, you got a unit full of level 15 soldiers, right? So you got 5 level 15 soldiers, and you want to power level them up so that they can actually do something in the battles in the area you're in. So you go into this level 20, I think the one I'm at now is like 23 or something like that, some weird number. But you go into the level 23 auxiliary battle, and you immediately rush that unit into the catapult machine. We'll just say it's the catapults. You rush them into the catapult, and you have them just slay enemies. Catapult is usually 1 shot, 1 kill, and it does a wide area damage. So let's say you have a group of Griffin Knights and a group of horseback cavalry units, and they're all together and they're marching towards your base. You can just launch the catapult and take out 3-4 units at once, which will automatically level up your people. Like, you're seriously just leveling up, and it's no joke how fast it is. And the thing that makes it wonderful, all of this auxiliary stuff, is the fact that it's unlimited. You can do it as many times as you want. You can go back and forth. You can sit there and farm until you get all your soldiers exactly where you want them to be, at least until that level. Because then when you can't over level, because once you get 1 level over the enemies you're fighting, your XP is like red, and it doesn't really matter, and it doesn't really grow. So of course you can't like power level to infinity from there. It's not this Gaia, but it definitely will help you get to that level. And then you get rewards. So you get rewarded as if you went and fought a full mission. So you get renown, you get money, and then you get these items, which are basically XP boost, called military treaties. And with these military treaties, depending on the level you're fighting, they give you either, I believe it's 100 XP, 300 XP, or 1,000 XP. I believe that's what I've seen so far. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just off the top of my head what I remember. And that's a very quick way to power level any unit you want. If you want to just dump, and then it's funny because they give you a limit cap, right? So it'll say, for example, it'll say something like you'll get 1,000%. You'll get not 1,000%. You'll get 1,000 XP points unless you're level 30, and then I think it cuts in half or something like that. It penalizes you. But you could seriously just power level people. Like, let's say you wanted to build a unit with witches. For some reason, you went out and found witches and sorcerers, but they're all low level because you just recruited them. Well, you could take these treaties and power level them, and then you can get an infinite amount of these military treaties from doing these infinite amount of auxiliary battles. Now, yes, That's grinding, but it's grinding in a way that makes it very easy because of the catapults, because of the trebuchets and the balliste, and I keep saying that word, and I'm probably butchering it. But because of these things, it seriously takes a battle that might take you 20 minutes and can cut it down to like 5 to 10 minutes. And it's super easy, and these things do mad damage. Like, it will take a whole unit and knock them out in 3 bolts. Like the balliste, it'll shoot them in like 3 bolts. So, and it loads on its own. It's automatic. It attacks the nearest soldier to it that are within the range. So it's just a matter of you getting your soldier into the machine, and then once you do that, it takes over, and it's pretty dope. So these are the things that have really stood out to me. There's a couple other mechanics that really respect you as a player, but I'm grateful for this. And Unicorn Overlord has been a lot of fun, and I was worried that I was going to get this game and not really be able to enjoy it the way I would like to, because of just how busy I've been with whether it's other games or life and family stuff. But dude, if you're looking for a game that has that RPG, that deep fantasy RPG, tactical combat, deep story, go check out Unicorn Overlord. It is set up in a way to where you get the full experience while also not feeling like, yes, it's going to take time to beat. I'm not going to sit here and say it doesn't, but it gives off that feel that you get, your time's not wasted. I haven't felt like my time has been wasted at all. Anytime I pick up the controller, I feel like I'm getting a lot done. I feel like I'm progressing, and I feel like I'm moving forward. And not even just in terms of levels, but in terms of story, in terms of the world. Whether it's accessing new soldiers, whether it's evolving my current soldiers, there's just always the feeling of progression across the board. And it's not even just simply in numbers or in stats. But yeah, once again, Baron J67. This was definitely a long ranty video. If you made it this far, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. If you're on any other platform, like if this makes its way to TikTok, make sure to follow us. Make sure to throw a couple hearts this way. Get all your news from lv1gaming.com. We definitely have a lot of cool stuff. We have a weekly podcast, 2XP. That goes Wednesday. That is on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But yeah, I really thank you guys. I didn't think I'd be ranting this much. It's been a while since I've just made a video. But yeah, much love, Baron J67. Peace!